You render a clip in Pika, it looks soft, so you switch to Runway and suddenly your credit bill is way higher for the same output. Both tools promise cinematic video, and picking the wrong one costs you real money. Pika is built for creators who want fast, simple text-to-video. Runway is built for editors who want professional-grade control. One of them is clearly the smarter spend. Test 1 is output quality. You spend an afternoon generating clips for a client, and when you deliver them, the background detail is drifting, reflections are smearing, and depth of field looks wrong. That's a quality failure, and it's the kind of thing that gets you dropped from a freelance gig fast. I looked at press coverage and user reports side by side. Runway Gen 3 Alpha got independently verified by The Verge as photorealistic and used in actual production workflows. Pika 2.0 is genuinely strong, but its consistency improvements are vendor-claimed only, and from what I could find across forums and Reddit threads, background detail drifted slightly where Runway held depth of field together. That's a real gap on complex scenes. Runway takes output quality, and I didn't expect the gap to be this clear, but press-independent validation versus vendor-only claims is a pretty decisive difference. That puts Runway up 1-0, and it's the kind of lead that compounds as the tests go on. I've been deep in these tools long enough to know that the quality gap only shows up when you push them past simple prompts. Drop a comment if background drift has killed a project for you. Test 2 is generation speed, and the number that matters is this. You're trying to generate 30 seconds of usable footage in a single session. How many render jobs does that take, and how long are you actually waiting? Because if one tool gives you 4 seconds of video per job and another gives you 10, the math on your afternoon changes completely. When I dug into the community numbers, Pika finishes a render job faster in absolute time, about 1 to 2 minutes, but only spits out a 4-second clip. Runway takes 2 to 3 minutes per job but delivers a 10-second clip, so you're getting roughly 2.5 times more footage per session, and those are community-reported figures, not vendor promises. Runway wins generation speed too, because output efficiency per minute of waiting beats raw job speed every time. That's Runway 2, Pika 0, and the faster finishing tool is actually leaving you with less footage to work with. One of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. Test 3 is pricing and credits. The objection I hear all the time is that Runway is just too expensive for regular use, and that's worth taking seriously. At the standard tier, we're talking $12 a month versus $8. So let's actually look at what you get per dollar, because the sticker price isn't the whole story. I ran the vendor verified numbers. Pika standard at $8 a month gives you 700 credits, which works out to 87.5 credits per dollar. Runway standard at $12 a month gives you 625 credits, which is 52.1 credits per dollar. That's a 68% better deal for Pika at this tier, and Pika's free tier refreshes monthly at 30 credits, while Runway's 125 free credits are a one-time trial. Pika takes pricing and credits, and I didn't expect the gap to be this wide at the standard tier, but 87.5 credits per dollar versus 52.1 is vendor verified, and pretty hard to argue with. That makes it Runway 2, Pika 1. So Pika just clawed one back on price, but style control and platform availability are still on the table, and those two dimensions are where the gap between a weekend project tool and a professional pipeline tool really shows up. If you care about locking a visual style across scenes or plugging this into a studio workflow, the next two tests decide everything. Test 4 is style control and consistency. You're producing a multi-scene video where every clip needs to match the same look, same lighting, same character feel. If the tool can't hold that across generations, you spend hours in post trying to fix it, and sometimes you just can't. That's the failure mode that separates a toy from a real production tool. Look at the input methods, and the difference gets pretty obvious. Runway Gen 3 Alpha supports both text prompts and image references for style control, and that's press confirmed. Pika's Pika effects and scene styles are vendor-claimed only, with no independent benchmark confirming they match Runway's consistency, and the general read from people actually using both tools is pretty direct. Runway rewards people who already think like video editors. Runway wins style control, and the decisive reason is that dual-input style control with press validation just outranks vendor-claimed presets. That's Runway 3, Pika 1, and Runway is now one test away from closing this out. Test 5 is platform availability and limits. You're a developer or a studio trying to plug an AI video generator into an existing pipeline. If the tool doesn't have a documented API, you're stuck copying clips out of a web interface by hand. And that's not a workflow. That's just manual labor with extra steps. Runway has a fully documented API for Gen 3 Alpha, vendor verified at docs@runwayml.com. I couldn't find a published Pika API equivalent. Runway also gives free users 10-second clips right out of the gate, while Pika caps free users at 4 seconds. Pika does have Discord access, which Runway doesn't, so it's a friendlier community space, but that doesn't offset an API gap for anyone building something serious. Runway takes platform availability because a documented API for studio and developer integrations is a clear, concrete advantage Pika can't match right now. That's Runway 4, Pika 1, and that's the final score. Pika wins on standard plan value, 87.5 credits per dollar versus Runway's 52.1, and its free tier refreshes every month so low-volume creators can actually use it long-term. It's also the simpler starting point for anyone who just wants to type a sentence and get a clip. And the Discord community is a genuine bonus for prompt inspiration. Runway wins on output quality with press-verified photorealism, a documented API for studio pipeline integrations. Free users get 10-second clips where Pika gives you 4, and style control via both text prompts and image references gives video editor-minded creators a level of precision Pika's Pika effects just don't reach. If you're on a tight budget and want the most credits per dollar, Pika's standard plan is your pick. But if you're going to use AI video seriously, Runway is the default, and a $4 monthly difference isn't a reason to leave press-verified photorealism and a real API on the table. One thing the docs don't spell out: Runway users report credits disappearing faster than expected on longer or more complex generations, so your 625 standard credits can evaporate well before month end if you're pushing complex scenes. Budget for that before you assume the standard plan covers your actual workflow volume. If you want to see how Runway holds up against its next real challenger, I did a full breakdown called Runway Gen 4.5 versus Kling 3.0, which is better, and the quality gap there is way more interesting than you'd expect. That one's worth watching next.